So beliefs create values, or rather, values are they're a product of aggregated beliefs. So, for example, if you can observe someone's values, the Bible would talk about um, judging a person by their fruit. If you can watch what people value, you can infer their beliefs. It's not always 100%, but it is possible. For example, if you've got an employee and they religiously show up to work on time, you can make the assumption that they value punctuality. And then you can infer their beliefs from there. And that's where it gets kind of sketchy, but they probably believe that if they show up on time and they are punctual, there is some sort of reward that will be manifest by that. Maybe they'll have the ability to get promoted faster. They could just make more money. They think it could help the team. It could help them in some way. Leaders tend to be not harbingers, but maybe shepherds of belief. Because if a leader can foster the right type of belief, then the right type of values will manifest, and then the right type of culture will emerge. If you were trying to lead a college and you wanted a particularly potent type of culture, you would have to start with the beliefs and you'd have to start building on that. The same way would be a business, the same way would be with the church. For example, if you wanted to build an organization that was focused on, I don't know, something like, I don't know, feeding the poor, and you wanted to create a culture that lent itself to people regularly stopping to help people regularly going out of their way to bring food, to bring toiletries, necessary things to the poor, you would have to create a belief structure that could support that. Because if the belief structure and the culture do not match, the whole thing will collapse. If you want to change a culture, you have to start with beliefs. We're seeing that in the United States today. We're seeing the fruits of the attack on belief that I think started somewhere in the 90s, but I'm young. It may have started as early as the 60s or before, or we may always have been going through stuff like this. But I do know that in my lifetime, what I have seen is that first they attacked beliefs with questions, never answers, just questions. And then when you would see someone's belief crumble, they would switch it out for their own ideology, whether or not it was backed up with facts. It doesn't matter, because when you're switching out beliefs, it's a lot easier to tear down a belief and flimsily throw one up to replace it, because people love stability. And so if you give them a set of beliefs and say there's stability there, they're going to believe you, and they're going to grab onto those. So that manifested. So like the 90s going into the 2000s, you saw values changing, and then coming now into 2020, we are seeing the culture begin to change. People often talk about the culture war, and Christians abandoned the culture war a long time ago. So we're kind of in our own we are in our own bed that we have made right now, and it's getting worse. Because you can push Christians really far. There's a reason we're the number one persecuted minority in the world. The numbers are staggering. How bad Christians get persecuted. That's why it's very important that we have strong Christian leaders who value doing things without fear and favor. There are few of them, and it's important that we support the ones who do. English breakfast tea today. But it's important that leaders understand that if you can control beliefs, you can control culture. And so what does this mean for the practical leader? Well, if you are running a secular organization and you want a culture of hard work, you have to instill belief in people that hard work leads to whatever particular goal that they want. Most of the time in a for-profit organization, it's money. So you have to consistently reward hard work and diligence, and do so in such a fashion that people believe and understand that if they work hard, they will be rewarded. You can destroy beliefs simply by questioning them, but building beliefs takes consistency and it takes trust. If those who follow you trust you, they are going to be far more apt to invest in beliefs that you're propagating. So if you want to do something good for hard work, if you want to encourage a culture of hard work, if you want people to value work ethic, then you need to make them believe that if they do this, this will be the results. It's simple, but it takes time to change culture, and it takes consistency and it takes trust to change a culture. Always remember, if you're trying to change a culture and you want to tear down the old, it's so easy to do. People with half a brain can tear down a culture. It takes a lot of to intentionally change a culture for the better. It takes wisdom. It takes more than knowledge. Takes more than even good skill at applying that knowledge. You have to know when to apply it. It takes wisdom in just vast quantities. So, if you're thinking about trying to change culture, you should start with the beliefs, and you should start with lots and lots of prayer. God can help you with this. I did a video on brooding, thinking, meditating on these things. Do that and focus on doing things slowly and doing things right if you're going to change a culture.